quality of every relationship boils down to the intimacy between both parties and both partners. Now, we're wondering, intimacy, is it just in the bedroom or does it go beyond the bedroom? Well, today we're looking at intimacy beyond the bedroom. My name's Epiphania, and I have with me Mimi and, as usual, the controversial Chris.
Yes.
Hi, Mimi. You're welcome.
Hi, Fania. I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, Chris.
Hi.
You see the way I said hi, Chris? I know what we're expecting. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Don't try us today. Oh.
I mean, the topic deserves a lot of, enthusiasm. This is very central. We are talking about relationships. We are talking about what fosters relationships. And like you said, the quality of every relationship depends on the level of intimacy. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to a very exciting conversation.
People, you see, just one high, I said. One high. Look at where we have ended up. Okay. Let me find out first. People tend to hear intimacy and sometimes all they think about is sex. Let me find out from both of you what your understanding of intimacy is. Ladies first.
Intimacy, for me, I'd break it down using the word itself, intimacy. So, into me, I see. Or into me, you see.
Hey.
So it means it has to be from in-depth, innermost. And actually, intimacy is from the word intimus, from a Latin word, which means in. So it has to do with familiarity, knowing deep within someone or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Chris, your understanding of intimacy?
In fact, I think Mimi has said it all, but I think the underpinning concept of intimacy is closeness.
Okay.
And like she rightly explained, the word comes from a Latin word that explains familiarity. Mm-hmm. So when we say somebody is familiar with something, it means that person has a certain level of close proximity with that thing. So that is my understanding of intimacy.
Intimacy, okay. And I feel like, I'm happy you've explained the Latin word intimus. I think not a lot of people actually even knew about it. So people have actually learned something. Familiarity, closeness, knowing somebody for who they actually are, not putting up an act or anything.
Yeah.
Now, we generalize intimacy, or more like we replace it with the word sex. In relationships, we tend to do that a lot. Would you say that intimacy is more like, is it sex or is it more than sex?
Well, sex forms a part of intimacy, but that's not everything encompassing when it comes to intimacy. Like I mentioned, it's into me you see or into me I see. So it means it has to go beyond just sex. Okay. It has to, and the see here is not just in appearance. It has to be noticeable. So this is about noticing. So my mood has changed. Have you noticed that? Okay. If you have noticed that, we have emotional intimacy. Okay. Or if, just like with mothers and kids, they just get a gut instinct. There's something wrong with my child. There's some level of intimacy. Knowing their kids, that they have a feeling that there's something wrong. That's what intimacy is about. It's not just about sex.
Okay. Chris, would you say intimacy is just about sex?
Sex forms a very large part of what intimacy represents. I would say if I'm putting intimacy in the bracket of, or let's say 100%, sex is 98. In fact, 99.9.
Why don't you just add the one?
You see, we are not getting it. Look at the example she gave about the mother and the child.
So that's where the 1% goes.
You see, the mother and the child has to suck the breast of the mother.
And that's
yes, you see, and it forms, why is it that the conversation around surrogacy and surrogate mothers and all of that is that people say the child will not have a connection with the mother when the mother is not the one breastfeeding the child, or there's going to be that thing. So essentially what I'm saying is that to rightfully understand the place of intimacy in relationships, we must acknowledge physical contact. And in romantic relationships, I mean, she gave the example of the mother and the child, which is relationship by blood, right? Even in that, there must be a certain physical bond or a physical touch. So in romantic relationships, sex plays a large part of the intimate.
So you
part
are
of the
saying it's more
relationship.
like a larger part of it.
Yes,
That's more-
and that is why people even have it as a synonym. Like sex is a synonym for intimacy when
Like,
you're talking
I-
about relationships.
So you have explained why.
Yes.
Okay, but you don't agree that it's actually the majority.
The 99.9%, no.
Okay, so what percentage?
It's definitely a fraction, but it's not 99%.
Okay, so
Can
let
we
me.
ask
So
her
you
Because the
yeah, I'm
physical-
actually what,
Because the physical intimacy spectrum is broader than just sex.
so
There is
is-
foreplay. And in
Wait,
the
is
foreplay,
foreplay not part of sex?
it is. It could be. Some people just cuddle and wouldn't have penetrative sex, nor oral sex, but they have still gotten physically intimate. A mother cuddles her child. That's physical intimacy, but it's not sexual.
Okay, you people, the way you're using a mother card is please. We're looking at this in the context of a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I get it.
let's stick to the context of a romantic relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
So in the context of a romantic relationship, although he believes it's 99 point what percent, even with sex, sex begins from the mind. And when I say sex begins from the mind, it means our emotions are mentally associated. So if your mental state is not at par, your body is not ready for sex. There are ladies that have vaginismus, and that's mental. It's not about you touching them for them to feel intimate. It has to begin with so many things. Mental intimacy is there. If you don't get to some places with some people, you can't have sex.
Okay. Now, as much as you're mentioning mental, emotional, let's look at the types of intimacy.
Please, you didn't let her answer my question. I said,
Okay,
what percentage?
Chris wants to know what percentage.
I said
of-
99.9.
He said
What is her
99%.
percentage?
Sex takes about 99.9%.
Yes.
I don't have a percentage, but it's definitely not that large.
No, because you
So let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, how much would you say sex?
I would say a 5.
5. Okay.
hey, swade license. That relationship is dead.
No, it's not.
5/10. What are you telling me? So all you
What-
have sex
what-
5 times. So
what-
if
what-
in your
what-
whole
No,
lifetime,
I didn't say
of
you
the
have
re-
sex 5
I know,
times.
I'm just saying that in the whole, let's say that in the whole lifetime of every relationship, you are saying that the contribution of that relation is 50%. Sex should form a 50% part. What are you telling
Have
me?
you two seen relationships that have stood and lasted where sex is
see.
not the
See,
99.9%?
let me explain something. Let me come with my concept
haven't
before
you-
we answer. Which relationship is that?
You
Tell me
haven't
which-
seen.
There is no relationship that will stand the test of time without sex. The activity, the physical activity where a penis is penetrating a vagina, where hands are touching each other, hands are going to places to stimulate people physically. What are you telling me?
So, Chris, you're telling me that relationships that do not engage in sex are not bound to last or are not strong relationships? Are
They
not
do not
solid
even.
relationships?
Those people are trying. They are funny. I don't know what they are even trying to. See, let me
You
explain.
find them to be
See,
funny.
Let me explain something to you. Let's go a bit theoretical.
Okay.
Abraham Maslow's theory of needs. We have the
The
five
food.
the five
Yeah.
stages: physiological needs,
Yeah.
your safety needs, love and belonging, social needs. Then you have the self-esteem, self-actualization.
Yeah.
Abraham Maslow was so intelligent enough to theorize from his research that in the physiological needs, we are talking about needs for survival.
And on which level is the physiological needs?
Is the first one, the basic one, which is water, food, sex.
That is the basic
Every
one.
animal,
You even left out air.
See,
Should I say it's the
no,
man within you that's
so
speaking?
I'm saying that. I'm saying that it's not the man. You see, you people, our society likes to make it look like it's only men who like sex. Have you met women? Have you met women?
Do we
who
look
like sex?
like
What are you telling me?
hermaphrodites? Are we not women?
But have you not met? I don't know. Maybe you've
Oh,
not explored your sexual.
we have met women who love sex. You get me? But we're looking at this in the concept. So you are saying that any relationship that does not have sex as 99.9%
The basic.
is
So let's
headed downhill. Is
let
that
us
it?
Let us adapt Abraham Maslow's theory of a relationship. Let's say that we are adapting his needs to a relationship. The basic need of every relationship is that the man must be alive, the woman must be alive. The man must eat, the man must drink water, the man must breathe,
The
the
same
woman
way,
must do that.
you know that,
Then-
in a bid for people to actually fulfill or actually follow the theory Abraham Maslow brought about, some people have never gone past the first one, which is the basic needs.
Well, he said he has theorized that.
Yeah, but you
at
want
the
to
stage
use
of every
that
human
one.
being-
Yeah, so since
I'm
we're using
going,
that
I'm
one, a lot of
going.
people have not gone past that. You realize that,
Even-
right?
there are a lot of people who even get to self-esteem, they do not even actualize. But the point is that they aspire. That is the whole
They
idea.
aspire.
They aspire to go to the next stage. That after I have eaten, I
So,
have drank water,
I'm
I
not.
aspire to.
I'm not cutting you, but with everything and all the force and power you're bringing, if a lady is in a relationship with you, or any lady who aspires to be in a relationship with you, should prepare that sex is going to go down.
I mean, okay. Like, what are you telling me? All these things I'm saying, it is a red flag for me that a woman will say, we cannot be physical. What is the relationship?
Okay, what
It's
else?
like some
what,
Teletubbies thing we are
You,
playing.
think
It's like we are playing with
I'm
Lego,
going to
Lego.
come back
Then
and
we should
ask
play
you.
with Lego,
I'm
Lego.
I'm going to come back and ask you about what if the lady says all sex only happens after marriage.
So now you are introducing social constructs. So that's
I
what
said I was going to come back to you.
Okay.
Okay, now Mimi, you say you don't see it as a 99.9%.
Yeah,
you
definitely.
just give it a 5. The other 5%, what makes up?
So for most marriages that end up breaking, the first or the top 2 things that break up the marriages is sex and finance. And when we take the sex out of it, there is finance. Aside from finance, there are other things involved that is expected to keep relationships alive. Some even include the family, as in the extended family, beyond just the couple. When it comes to intimacy, like Chris would like to believe that it's 99.9% sex. Like I said, I think it's the man.
Actually need sex. They don't want. They need sex.
And not to say
That
women
is a
do not.
misconception.
Not to say
Human
women do
beings
not need it
sex.
too.
Animals need sex. So whether man or woman,
Of course, reproduction
all
is
need
part of the
sex.
stages
It's
of
all
life.
men.
No, listen. You know the way it could take you like 10, 15, 20, depending on the woman, to, get her in the mood and then foreplay and things.
So-
there are some men.
It takes you guys
most
the
men,
barest
it's
minimum.
Like from what I got, you're like
To be ready for
you're,
sex.
You're compared to like light bulbs or light switch. But it takes the barest minimum, like she said, to get you guys.
But that's
ready.
not
I think
all
you
about
are-
intimacy.
I think you are
As
speaking
opposed
from
to
a
a
very
woman.
skewed perspective of women who have not explored their sexuality.
No,
No.
it's
And I
not
think
about,
it's
it is not
bringing-
about exploring. Are you telling me? So if a lady walks in here, not just any lady, a very desirable lady to you walks in here, how long will it take her to get you in the mood for sex?
A very desirable lady. In
A
fact,
lady
you see,
you find very desirable. I think just a lady you find very desirable. How long will it take her to get you in the mood for sex?
you see, you are. I think that this
Chris,
question you have asked
Chris,
me, you already know the answer to this question.
Just, I don't know the answer. How
Oh.
long? You're telling me that I'm coming from a skewed perspective.
I
so,
said the
so
girl when
I'm-
she blows air like this, I'm feeling them.
You're already up. So when
So-
I compared it to the light switch, then it's right?
No,
So
I-
why is it from a skewed
But you
perspective?
see, the point is, the point is that human beings, we are just like animals. I mean, not today.
We
we are
actually
animals.
understand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're
Right,
higher
from a
form of
science
animals,
perspective,
yes.
we are animals, and at the basic of all our levels of satisfaction, and that's why I bring in the Abraham
You have
Maslow.
brought Abraham Maslow, and
It's
I get
basic.
that. So I want to. She is saying that as opposed to you saying it's 99, she sees it as a 5 or a 50% thing. So she believes that the financial aspect as well also plays a key role. Other things, other factors play a key role. You get me? Now you are equating or saying that your Abraham Maslow's theory of needs is the reason why people have, equated intimacy to sex. So if I say sex, I'm talking about how intimate you are. But do we have people in relationships who actually can have sex maybe 5 times a week or almost every single day of the week, but then not actually have any intimacy? That's why I was
Yes.
asking you about types of intimacy.
But I'm telling you that once the sex is happening, there's intimacy.
Don't we have
There is
couples who
one
break up
part
or
of
people
intimacy
who are-
ongoing with just sex.
So let's use the computer.
Okay.
We have main components of the computer that if they are not there, the computer will not work. A typical example is the central processing unit. A computer can work without a mouse. Computer can work without a webcam. Okay, so we have peripheral devices when it comes to a computer, we have things that are core. So my argument is that when you are having a conversation about intimacy in relationships, at the core
sex
of
in
it
this case
is
is the
is
CPU.
the CPU.
And then what are the
That
peripheral
finances you are talking
devices?
about, that's the mouse, and it can be
You do. What?
that pen pointer or touch or whatever.
The pen tool.
That,
Okay. Okay, so Chris is coming from the part. If you are going to go Chris's way, sex is on the table. Sex is on the table. It's something it's non-negotiable.
See.
For you, sex strengthens a relationship, right?
in fact, it is the beginning of a relationship. That is what validates it. See, let's look at the Bible.
Wait, you said
Let's look
sex
at the
is
Bible.
relax. You said sex is what validates.
A relationship. That's
Okay,
what that the
so
relationship
you want
is
to
now.
you want to look at the Bible. I'm listening.
So, like the Bible, it says that you cannot say you are married to somebody without consummating the marriage. The consummation of the marriage is the evidence. That is why when the pastor does the everything and you say all the vows, right? Then the pastor will say, you people should go back home and validate this thing. And that is why the concept of honeymoon has been introduced. The honeymoon is not to just go and sit there and
The honeymoon is to yes, it's for sex. That
It
we
is
know.
to consummate
So,
it.
In the same Bible you have brought, that same Bible that also talks about abstinence. Is the lady not supposed to be in a relationship
so let
with
me
you?
tell
And
you
you
why.
just told
So
us
let me tell you
that
why.
if sex is not on the table, that
So
relationship
let me
is
tell
not
you
going
why.
to work.
Because
So why did you use the
in
same
the wisdom
Bible?
of God, because God realized that we are animals, and at the basic of our needs, if we don't take care, we would have, like the way the dogs do. A stray dog in an area can sleep with so many dogs in one lane, a different lane.
Even
So
in this thing, people are just
Exactly.
sowing oats everywhere.
Because of that, God said, let me institute the institution of marriage. Let me bring marriage to control people and the legitimacy they would have of other people. So that is why I say that before you would have access to a woman's body, because the idea is that for each man is one woman. So the idea is that don't sleep with anybody, so that when somebody is going to get their woman, they'll get their woman fresh. So you are there, you are getting your woman fresh. Why do you want to sleep with her before somebody will also get her? So that's why they say abstinence.
I'm going to go to Mimi, but I just want to remind you. I asked you that what happens to those who say no sex before marriage, and you said that relationship is not even going to start.
It's not
now
going
you
to.
are actually using the same Bible that talks about abstinence as your point.
No. I'm letting you understand why
Mimi,
it is
yeah,
so important
please.
that a law will be
Which
put
law
on-
will be put
a law,
in this thing?
Because they've seen that the sex is so important.
See.
So they must have a law that would guide
You
Christians.
you see how you're just throwing
No,
yourself.
I'm not
on
throwing
the-
myself. I'm
Mimi,
telling you
come.
the thing.
So Mimi, intimacy beyond the bedroom.
Yeah.
What are some of the acts, ways, or things you believe couples, since you are not for 99.9%, what are some of the ways you believe that people in a relationship can build intimacy among themselves,
So-
aside engaging in sexual activities?
Okay. Aside engaging in sexual activities, I mentioned that when it comes to the physical intimacy spectrum, it's broad. But that's not just it. Even sex begins from the mind. So how well do you know your partner? How well do you know that this thing about my partner brings her alive? And in bringing her alive, it's not just sexual pleasure alive. It could just be natural aura of being happy. Because people are depressed out of their relationships. And in that depressive state, they don't bring their 100% when it comes to the relationship. So there are times where you need escapism, such that you take a break off work, you and your partner go out, just have some time together, spend time together. And in spending time together, you have to do activities together. It's not just sex. It could be painting. It could be something you both enjoy, just to build that bond, just to build that connectivity. In fact, the Bluetooth needs to pair. If the Bluetooth doesn't pair, it's harder for sex to be satisfactory on both ends. So when I speak about intimacy, for me, I'll keep saying it. It's more than just sex. For most people, sex is the end goal. But when every other thing comes, is working, it makes the sex even better.
And easier.
Exactly.
Calm down. Hold it. So you are talking about people engaging in other activities and things. Would you say since you're talking about sex coming from the brain and the mind, would you say that it depends on the level of, the IQ of the person? If let me put it this way. You need to be able to pair or date somebody that both of you are on the same intellectual level, because sometimes you can make a joke and they're
They'll
so
be
daft,
taken
they don't
otherwise.
get it. Exactly,
Yeah.
they don't get it. And sometimes too, they take things out of context because they are not on the same IQ level with you. So are you saying that if both people are on the same intellectual, wavelength, it makes things easier for them?
For some people, intellectual intimacy works for them. And I think what we fail to understand is that every couple is different. The apples go together.
Yeah.
The oranges go together. You can't look at the apple family and think it's going to work for the orange
oranges.
family.
Okay.
Things are different. Some people get married based on duty. Some people it was arranged. Some people it was out of love. Some people it is a business agreement.
I think
In fact,
for some too is the sexual chemistry between them.
exactly. So for the various
We're not
different
leaving
types
you
of
out.
couples there are specific things that make them click better when it comes to intimacy. For some people it will be the sex. For some people it will be their mind. Some people are actually attracted to how intelligent people are.
Exactly.
So and there are demisexuals, there are sapiosexuals. Like there are lots of sexuals when it comes to this spectrum. And that is why I would keep saying sex is intimacy is beyond sex, but it makes things better when every other thing aligns for both couple, for the two people involved in the relationship, for things to work well.
Okay, so I'm going to hit you with the question. Will great sex ever keep you in a relationship?
Me personally.
Answer well. Answer well.
Personally.
Well, great sex, because I know ladies who are dating dumbasses, but the sex is so good, they are never willing to leave the relationship.
So I'm not someone that easily forms attachments. So when I do, it's something beyond just sex that's keeping me in there. I'm very huge on mental health and emotional health.
Sweetheart, I just want a yes or no. Will great sex keep you in a relationship?
Answer well.
I no reach there yet, so I know if we talk.
Chris.
All these things that you have said,
Chris, will great sex keep you in a
What are you
relationship?
telling you?
It's 100 for him.
What are you saying?
I am asking you, will great sex?
As one who has espoused that sex is the central processing unit.
Master, make you can't take the English beaters for here.
No, it
will
is
great sex? Can a girl ride you so bad you want to stay in a relationship? Maybe she has
She
a terrible
drive me crazy. I will sign everything for her. I'll do everything for her. Have you not seen people have neglected even their families?
Oh
for
yeah,
great
because
sex?
of great sex.
Yes, I'm not saying it's right, but the point is that I want us to understand that the basis of every relationship borders around the concept of closeness. And closeness in romantic relationships needs to have a foundation of a certain level of sexual chemistry. How do you form that sexual chemistry?
You see, I don't have a problem with what you're saying. The only issue is you're making it
It's my
all about-
99.9. That is your problem.
Exactly. See,
Your
because
problem- and
I'm not going to deny the fact that sex is important. Sex is important. Sex is very, very important. And good
Experienced
sex
one
is
is speaking.
very, very
But
important.
you are telling me it's very,
No,
very
but
important. You say it's not 99.9.
You
What are
are
you telling
saying
me?
that it's
What are you saying?
99.9%.
So
Have you
say-
seen
you
people in relationships that are having all the sex they could get in their life, but then frustration alone
see-
drives them out?
So you see what you are saying? Then this is where if we are delving into the conversation, I'll tell you that there are types of sex. There are things that you can do to stimulate the sex. Because you see, only in your conversation
So
you have,
I think
you
for
think
you-
it's just the penis there and the vagina is there and it's entering.
No,
And
you
then that's
do.
all.
You do
It's
realize
entering,
that. You do realize that when I'm using the word sex here, I'm not just talking about what you are just
Tell me
saying.
all the
the
things.
basic
Tell me
sex,
the other
right
thing.
now,
Let's talk about.
that is just.
I
There
think
are
our
different
viewers will want
types
to
of
hear.
sex.
Tell me.
There are
tell me,
different
tell us,
things that.
Tell us.
Some people actually need good foreplay.
And
That
then
leads them to a
What is
climax.
the foreplay? Let's talk about those
You
things.
just want to talk about the
No,
exact.
you see, the
We are,
thing-
you
you
see, the thing
do you know
here
that I
is
can-
not just
do you
about.
know
We're
that I-
looking
do
at
you know I can-
intimacy
do you know I can look at you-
beyond.
Do you know I can look at you in some way?
Which
I look
way?
at you like this.
And
But
then
you
what
are mine,
happens?
So let's do it with a meme.
Okay.
And then
look
what
at
will
it.
happen?
So I'll be looking at it and then I'll look at it like I want to see something.
So
You
you
know,
will
guys,
see.
And you see, so it's a connect, like you are saying, even though you are saying that the activities, painting, cooking together. and all
Nobody
those
mentioned.
things. No, she said painting. She said painting.
She said engaging in
couples
other
will go and
activities.
paint, will walk by the beach and hold their hand. When they go home, what happens in the house?
You
It
see,
makes it
so-
better
so
when
for
you bond with someone
I mean,
beyond.
So with
That is what I'm
everything, Chris, with everything, for you, does intimacy go beyond the bedroom?
So you see what you have said. Let me give you the. You see, you have answered my question.
Chris.
I've got it right. I've I've got it right here. Wait. I've got it right here. You see, it makes it better. You can use the computer with the keyboard without the mouse. You see, because you can use the arrows to navigate, but it doesn't make. But you use the how do you call it? The mouse. When you introduce the mouse, it makes easy navigation. That's what I want you to understand. The sex is the central processing unit, and all other things are peripherals.
You have already established it. But I'm asking, for you, does sex go beyond that? Intimacy go beyond the bedroom? Because everything you have said stays within the bedroom, in the car, whichever. But once it involves,
So you see where you say Ghanaian, you're laughing. People have access in the car. People have access in interesting places. From the kitchen to the hall to they are different. We get it, but for you, people are having. See, let me tell you, people are having sex in the highest building on the world.
For you,
people are exploring different things.
Does intimacy go beyond the bedroom?
I mean,
it begins and ends in the bedroom for him.
Everything, because you see, the bedroom validates the relationship. Right? And everything that you do.
Nothing else for you validates a relationship. Is that
what is there sex?
So that's all.
So what happens to the way to a man touches his stomach? What happens to the way to a man touches his stomach?
I want to show you something.
What happens?
Can you come closer?
This is the
please, you should be wary of my microphone.
So we are sorry.
What's happening here?
So, what do you feel something? I'm touching you.
What kind of something? I can feel your hand.
Touching you. You can look into my eyes. Maybe remove your glasses.
I think both of you should. Take it off, and then let's see if we can.
Okay.
Look into
good
my eyes.
eye.
Bring the other one.
Let me help
You
with
see
this.
right now, a lot of difference has happened.
What kind of difference?
Because with the touch.
What happened?
We could have been talking, but right now, see, look at what is going on right now.
What is
She's
going on?
quiet because
No,
you
you're
said
not
you
looking
wanted
into
to
my eyes.
see
You just
something.
look into my eyes.
And then?
Don't worry. Don't and then let's just look into our eyes.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, we're trying to establish some form of
Nothing. I
intimacy
just feel your
here.
hand moving.
As much as this is
Stop
not
that,
the
sorry.
bedroom,
I'm serious.
so Mimi and Chris are trying
you
to
want me to
establish
do
some form of intimacy here. So let's just see if there's going to be any.
This is not a
proof
bedroom,
or
so it's not
something.
working for him.
So you see, wait.
Okay.
So you see, the IT people say there's infrared and there's Bluetooth.
Yours is it's not pairing, right?
No. The Bluetooth is when the devices have some distance.
So yours is.
But when you see infrared is more, you see
right
now.
Was
you
it
see,
an infrared?
You see right now the
Or was
iPhone.
it a
You see the new
Bluetooth?
technology is going back. iPhone now, if you pair the new iOS, the two phones must come together.
Then.
I'm telling you, you can never do something without.
So
without
for you, that you see,
contact.
you have established your point. For
Yeah.
you, intimacy comes and everything stays within and in the bedroom. Under the umbrella of physical touch,
if the
contact,
laws of the land,
right?
That is why the laws of the land do not permit us to be walking around naked. Like people will be having sex around.
Some people do.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, some people walk around naked.
They are mad people. So that is why everything physical touch. Because it will start from somewhere, like you are touching hands.
We get your
like
point.
You didn't feel anything. But if you had gone
What were
into
you
the
feeling?
But if you had gone into the
What
bed,
were you feeling?
I was feeling a strong connection.
The battery was dead. You're connected to the wrong tower.
That's what I'm saying. That if we had gone into the bedroom, we would have continued this thing that we are holding hands with.
See,
Always start from the physical.
at this point, we're just coming to just close because Chris has just made his point. Everything he has said, front, back, all the theories and things it just for him. Intimacy doesn't go beyond the bedroom. Physical touch is important. Now, we're not downplaying that part. And yes, so know the person you're dating. If you're dating somebody like him, you know that sex is the number one. That's the key.
99.9.
That's what you use to unlock his brain and everything. He will sign everything he has for you. But for Mimi, it's different. It's not just the sex. It goes beyond the sex. You have to be able to connect emotionally, mentally,
financially,
yeah, she likes
spiritually.
that a lot. Okay, so she has different forms of connection. So for her, intimacy does go beyond the bedroom. For Chris, it doesn't. Well, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, you can send your thoughts on this topic. You can leave them in the comment section. We'll come your way same time next week with another interesting topic. But do you believe that intimacy goes beyond the bedroom?
Can you please, in concluding, encourage them to have more sex to make their relationships better?
Okay. The whole conclusion. Okay. So,
Say it is my position.
is what
My position and the position.
Mimi's part. Okay, so in conclusion, guys, Chris believes that intimacy does not go beyond the bedroom. if you're going for somebody like Chris, sex plays a major role in everything.
The only
you
role,
do.
actually.
Well, actually, the only role, actually. And if you're going for somebody like Mimi, you need emotional, intellectual, and financial. Also spiritual. You said spiritual. Yes. So know the person you're in a relationship with. It plays a key role, and it helps you know whether for them, what intimacy actually means. Whether it's, like Chris Fiscal or like Mimi, in a broader spectrum. We'll come your way same time next week with another interesting topic. And Chris wants to say that
encourage them to
well,
have
Chris
more sex.
wants me to encourage you to have sex
to
more
make
often to make your
relationships
relationships better, right?
Please
That's
don't
what
let
you're saying.
sex not make you
Go
use
and
your
ask
head.
the marriage counselors, they will tell you the reason why marriages are failing now. They're having less sex.
Oh, that
It's
is
a
that
problem.
is not something
a
I would
problem.
that is not something I would dispute, but that's a topic for another
Why
day.
you
So
dispute this means
see,
is the fact.
like-
Evidence did it.
see, we are closing. Bye bye.